Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Good evening, everybody. Today we are going to talk about, continue with our subject of the Dhammapada and commentary. We are taking the verses 179 and 180. This is about Māgandiya, a story about one woman named Māgandiya. Our story, it will be, we will do part today, and then the continued story will be in the next week or whenever the next time that we will talk. And this will be the continuing of this story. Why? Because the continuing of this story about Māgandiya is appear in another Dhammapada. Okay, another place of the Dhammapada. So it will be two verses, two versions or two lectures. The first lecture, and it's also good because the other story, it's very, very long. Okay, so half of the story we will read today, which is about the verses 179, 180, and next time we will continue our story. So maybe you can roll it a little bit, and then Lisa will read the verses of the Dhammapada. This we can. You can roll. Who is the one that's rolling it? Yeah. So please, Lisa, you can read.
Okay. The Buddha, whose conquest of moral defilements is complete, in whom there cannot arise any further defilement in this world, that Buddha of infinite range of wisdom, who is trackless of greed, anger, delusion, by what track will you lead him?
You see, track, they mean when someone cut the greed, anger, delusion, so whatever you do to temptate them or to make them angry or to delude them, you will not be follow it. Yeah, okay, because you don't have it as inside themselves. So that's what he said, that when the Buddha cut all the defilement, actually you will not be able to do anything to temptate them or to make him angry or worry or whatever. Okay, so this is the first verses talking about Buddha with the quality of cleaning the defilement. And then the second verses.
The Buddha in whom there is no craving, which like a net would bring him back to any existence in samsara. That Buddha of infinite range of wisdom, who is trackless, by what track will you lead him?
Okay, here they're also using the track about greed, anger, delusion. They're using it in which way you can lead them. But here they are referring to the idea that the Buddha cut the craving. And every time that one person passing away, he will reborn again. And the karma, it's leading him to which direction he will go. Okay, either he will go to the hell, either he go to be angels or whatever. So if connect to the karma, we will never have the ability to get out from samsara. But why there is ability to go out from samsara into nirvana? Because it's not depend on only karma, it's depend on also on avijja, ignorant, and taṇhā, which is attachment. And the Buddha said that he cut the craving. So here he referred to the idea that because the Buddha cut the craving, he will not be able to follow anything which will continue the new existence for him. He will stop the suffering or the samsara. He get out from samsara because he cut the engine or the motor that take him from one reincarnation to another reincarnation. So this is the Buddha said, but on which occasion the Buddha said it? So we will start to read the commentary about these verses. What Buddha goes are telling the story that happened, in which occasion he said these things.
This Dhamma teaching, originally given by the teacher while sitting under the Bodhi tree after awakening with reverence to the daughters of Mara, was repeated in the kingdom of the Kurus to the Brahmin Māgandiya.
You see, this teaching actually the Buddha said 2 times. The first time that the Buddha said is when the Buddha was, after the Buddha get enlightened, he was sitting he was staying around the Bodhi tree. He get enlightened in Buddhavagga under the Bodhi tree. But 1 week he was sitting meditation. And after 1 week, he continued staying around the Bodhi tree for altogether 7 weeks. Okay, and every week he makes something. One time he was the second week, for example. So 1 week he was sitting under the tree with the bliss of enlightenment. The second week he was standing and gazing the tree, looking at the tree. There's something like pay respect to the tree that give him the shelter to sit. Another week the Buddha make walking meditation. So altogether he was around the tree for 7 weeks. Okay. After finish this one, he walk another 1 week, so 2 months, and then he meet his 5 friends and teach them the meditation, the Dhammacari. So what happened is that on the 5th week, the Buddha was again sitting under the Bodhi tree. Again, he came back to the Bodhi tree and sit 1 week under the Bodhi tree. Okay, I said 1 week he was standing here, another place he was walking there, and so he made different activity. But the 5th week he was just sitting again under the Bodhi tree. And during this time, what happened is that the daughter of Mara, they come and try. This is angels. We are talking about angels. Okay, sometimes Mara is something like our ignorance is hindrances. It's Mara, and other times the death is Mara. But in this case, we are talking about daughter of Mara. Mara is actually kind of angels that he living in some kind of level of angels, which is called Paranimita Vasavati. This is just before the people practicing strong concentration. Officially is angel, so he's supposed to be good, but he have the interest to stop us as a people to go to enlightenment. This is his hobby. Okay, so that's why Mara is tricking. Normally he will come in the good way. He understand the Buddha, he know the Buddha, and he trying to make us, motivate us to stay in the samsara. This is a hobby like this for him. The daughter of Mara also is working with him like this. So what happened in the 5th week, that the Buddha already was enlightened. Okay, he didn't have any greed, anger, delusion in himself. The daughter of Mara coming and trying to convince the Buddha or to bring up the greed to the Buddha, but it's not possible because we don't have greed. So this was the first time when the Buddha used these verses to tell them this. When I don't have any greed, anger, and delusion, it will not be able for you to temptate me, to do for me anything. It will not influence me. The second times that the Buddha he said these kind of things, he said to the Brahmin Māgandiya. Māgandiya was the name of one Brahmin. But you will see later that now in our story that his daughter also named Māgandiya. Okay, so don't get confused. Māgandiya. There is 2 Māgandiya. The father is Māgandiya and the daughter also Māgandiya. Okay, so the Buddha actually, when he said this sentence, he said to the father and mother. Okay, that's how he said. So let's see our story. What happened? Why the Buddha have to tell them about these things? Please.
The Buddha rejects the maiden Māgandiya. It seems that a Brahmin named Māgandiya, living in the kingdom of the Kurus, had a daughter named Māgandiya.
You see what I told you? So the rejection will be to the daughter. Okay?
Who possessed surpassing beauty. Many rich men of social position, both Brahmins and nobles, desired her as a wife and sent word to Māgandiya, saying, "Give us your daughter." But he refused all of them, saying, "You are not good enough for my daughter."
You see what happened in this case? It's like engage, okay? They cannot just go to the woman and say, "Oh, I love you, I want you to marry you." It should go to the father and mother and ask permission from them to get the hand of the daughter, okay? So in this case, the father looking for someone because she's so beautiful and she's so proud on herself and this, so she don't satisfied with any man. She wanted beautiful men to marry her. Okay, so the father looking for beautiful men, he cannot find beautiful men for her. Yeah, so
now one day, as the teacher searched the world early in the morning, he perceived that Māgandiya had entered the net of his knowledge, and perceived that the Brahmin and his wife were ready for the three paths and fruitions.
Okay, you see what normally the Buddha have like a schedule during the day. Okay, for example, in the morning he go and he bring the body, collect food. After he finished the food, he was sitting meditation. Then he was teaching monks or whatever kings come to visit them. And in the night he was sitting meditation. And early morning he was sitting and searching around the world and see who is the people that can get the Dharma from him, who he can teach. Okay, so for example, Angulimala, like this, he found that Angulimala can learn for him. He go to Angulimala or other people like this. So in this case, he find out that this Brahmin, okay, and this wife, they are ready to get into. Why? Because normally you cannot get immediately to the last state. It's go one by one. First, you get Sotapan. Immediately after Sotapan, you will go to Sakatakami, and then you go to Anagami. Enter the way, and then once returner, and then no returner. And what the Buddha, when he searched, he saw that this Brahmin, Māgandiya, is capable, and his wife, they are capable to jump through these three stages. They have enough wisdom, enough faculties, so the Buddha can teach them to make them cross through these three stages in one time. So what the Buddha is doing, out of compassion, he coming the place where to meet Māgandiya. Okay, so please we continue.
Now the Brahmin looked after the fire regularly every day outside the village.
Okay, sorry, one moment, Lisa. You see, he's Brahmin. He's holy man. He's like a priest in the church, or the muazzin, okay, or maybe the priest in the synagogue. It means he gives service to the people. And in this case, these Brahmins, they believe on the fire. So he have some kind of ritual how to use the fire. So that's why he go every morning to worship the fire, or to light and to turn on the fires or something like this as a ritual of religion. So what the Buddha is doing in this case?
Accordingly, the teacher took bowl and robe early in the morning and went to that very place.
The Buddha just sent himself actually to this place. He go to meet Māgandiya. Māgandiya don't know that the Buddha come to meet him actually, but he just go to this area. And then
the Brahmin observed the royal form of the teacher and thought to himself, "There is no man in this world comparable to this man. This man is suitable for my daughter. I will give my daughter to this man."
Okay, you see, the Buddha considered to be very beautiful, because you see something very interesting. Normally we say that beauty, it's connected to the person which is seen, okay? Sorry, but you see that according to Buddhism, beauty is something which is objectively. The Buddha considered to be beautiful. She considered to be beautiful. So it's not only depend on the person see, "Oh, is she beautiful for me?" Of course, there is like a genetics, okay, but beauty is something that is considered to be like for all the people looking the same things. For example, Buddha had blue eyes. He have long hair. He have curl hair. He was very straight. Okay, he was like a deer. Okay, long and long. So he considered to be beautiful because why? Because of his faculties. every faculties give them some kind of beauty characteristics to the body. So altogether you have 32 characteristics of beauty in the body. Okay, this is how we mentioned in the book, in the Dika Nikaya, you can see it's mentioned about it, about the characteristics of the great man, something like this, or great person. So when the Buddha was a king, actually, he was supposed to be king, okay? He was a prince. So when the Māgandiya saw the Buddha, he never saw beautiful men like this. So he thought, at least I found a man for my daughter. So please.
So he said to the teacher, "Ascetic, I have a single daughter, and I have looked in vain to find a man suitable to be her husband. I have not given her to anyone, but you are suitable for her. I wish to give you my daughter as a wife. Wait right here until I bring her." The teacher listened to his words, but expressed neither approval nor disapproval.
You see what he's doing? Wow, impressed the Buddha, so beautiful, man. And this, he come to the Buddha, he say, I want to give you. You see, this is how it's going, the tradition at the time. I assume that some places today also it's like this. I want to give you my daughter. So anyway, I assume that this is also the choice of the daughter, that she want to find another very beautiful man. So the father is happy. He suddenly success in his mission to find good man or beautiful man. He don't know his character, yeah, but he know that he's beautiful. So he said, I found a beautiful man for my beautiful daughter. Okay, he come to the Buddha. What the Buddha is doing, the Buddha don't say anything. He just keep quiet. He don't say, yes, please, I wait for you. He don't say no. He don't reject him. So the man, he so much want the Buddha, so he thought that the Buddha say yes. Okay, the Buddha agree. If you don't say anything, it's of course you will agree about my great daughter. Okay, so the Buddha just keep quiet, and then
the Brahmin went.
Sorry, the man showed that the Buddha agreed. Okay, so we continue.
The Brahmin went home and said to his wife, "Wife, today I saw a man suited to be the husband of our daughter. Let us give her to him."
Sorry, one thing. You will see something that before the Buddha didn't say anything. But when the Brahmin left, the Buddha moved from the way that he stood. Okay? Okay, but we will see it later. Okay? The husband now going and asking the wife, please come. Okay, yeah.
So the Brahmin had his daughter prepared in her beautiful garments, and taking his daughter and wife with him, went to the place where he had spoken with the teacher. Many people heard this message, and agitated and excited went with them.
Okay, you see what, like I told you before, Buddha actually didn't say anything, but he moved from his place. So now when they are coming, they cannot see the Buddha because he's not there. Okay, he just moved to another place nearby. So now many people, they're hearing the message, everybody excited, there is news. Oh, this man, Māgandiya, find for his beautiful daughter, good man. Let's see who is this beautiful man. So they are going now.
The teacher, instead of remaining in the place mentioned by the Brahmin, moved away and stood in another place, leaving a footprint where he had stood before. It is said that when the Buddhas establish a footprint saying, "Let so and so see this footprint," the footprint will not disappear, and anyone else besides that person cannot see it.
You see what the Buddha is doing? He moved, like I told you, he moving from this place, but he just don't leave the place like this. He make a footprint. This is the supernormal power. People sometimes can do it with the hand, with the part of the body. If they touch the ground, stones or whatever, so the stones is melting, or the ground it became a hole in the ground. This is by power of concentration. Even today, I heard people, they do this. Yeah? Someone told about this, that he was so excited, he go to visit some master. And by the way, this man, this monk is a Buddhist, but Tibetan monk. and he tell the story that he go to visit his, I don't know, some kind of master from Tibet, and he was so excited that his legs go through inside the stones. Okay, and then the students tell them, "Oh, master, what happened to your legs?" And he find out that he make like a hole in the stones. And this hole, it's not necessary to be exactly on the size of the legs. It can be even bigger, but still looks like a big legs and inside the rock. Okay, so this is what the Buddha did. But the Buddha make a wish that only the husband and the wife can see it. Okay? So what happened then?
The Brahmin's wife, who accompanied him, asked, "Where is this man?" The Brahmin replied, "I told him, remain in this place." Looking all about, the Brahmin saw the footprint and pointed it out to his wife, saying, "This is his footprint." Now the Brahmin's wife was familiar with the verses relating to signs and immediately said to the Brahmin, "Brahmin, this is no footprint of one who follows the lusts of the 5 sense doors." The Brahmin replied, "Wife, you are always seeing a crocodile in a drop of water. When I said to the ascetic, 'I will give you my daughter,' he accepted my offering." The Brahmin's wife replied, "Brahmin, you may say what you like, but this is the footprint only of one who is free from lust."
One moment before we continue, you see now starting to be some kind of argument between the husband and wife, because the wife, she's also Brahmin, and according to the scriptures of the Vedas, it's in mention about this. For example, for sure, it's in mention about the 32 figures of body that I just told you. So also talking about how the people which is developing the mind, because even they are just Hindu, but still many things that in the Buddhism, refer in the Buddhism, it exists in they are talking in the Veda, in the Sutra of the Brahmin of India. So the wife, when she see this kind of step on the floor, she immediately could recognize that this footprint belong to someone which is don't have greed, anger, delusion. Now you can see what she's telling them, and very, very interesting, because this is also written in the Visattikā. Okay, so you can read what the wife said to the husband, because he tell her, why every time you just talk negative? He tell her, even in the drop of water you will see crocodile, something like that. All the time you negative woman. So she said to him, you can say whatever you want, but you can look by yourself. And then what she said to him, what she see in this footprint.
So saying, she pronounced the following verse: "The foot of a lustful man will be on tiptoes. Of a hateful man it is severely pressed down. The foot of the deluded man is dragged along. This is the foot of one who has broken through ignorance."
You see what she tell him, very, very interesting, because this is, I was hearing and reading, I think in the Visuddhimagga, he talk about if you look at the person, behave, you can recognize what kind of mind is influenced with. For example, you see someone sweeping the floor. So you can see if he, for example, making very, very correct line, it means greedy. If he push the broom, it means anger. If you sweep to the side, it means delusion. Okay, so she say the same things about the footprint. If someone is airy, want to be there, he will push with his toe on the ground because he's already want to be there. Okay, so he said this will be greedy man that all the time want to be there. If he push too much on the floor, it means too much anger, too much excited to push on the floor. Okay, if he go around like sweep the floor like this with his leg, it means deluded. But if he will be exactly middle way, this means someone that don't have no greed, no anger, no delusion. So even in the Visattikā, they're explaining how someone dressing his robe, you can see if he influenced by greed, anger, delusion. And so it's so nice to see it. When you see behavior of people, you can recognize what kind of mind is there. Even if they have to prepare their suitcase, so you can see what is it. If they're greedy, if the anger, if the delusion, so you can recognize the personality of the person. Okay, so she says this is either no greed, no anger, no delusion. It's very, very balanced. So please.
Then the Brahmin said to his wife, "Wife, do not talk like that. Come with me in silence." Not far from there he saw the teacher, whereupon he pointed him out to his wife and said, "There is the man." And approaching him he said, "Ascetic, I will give you my daughter as a wife." The teacher, instead of saying, "I have no need of your daughter," said, "Brahmin, I have something to say to you. Listen to me." The Brahmin replied, "Say it, ascetic, I will listen." Thereupon the teacher related to the Brahmin the story of his earlier life, beginning with the great renunciation.
Okay, you see, the Buddha actually, all his conversation, all what he's doing, his aim actually is to bring these two people into anagami. So how he go through these things. He tell the man, when the man tell him, and the man come, "Oh, I found you, I want to give you my daughter." He excited, okay? So the Buddha don't start to argue with them, "No, that is not for me," or whatever. The Buddha is starting to tell them some story that happened to him in the past. He want to build for him the idea to show him how he free from greed, anger, delusion. He don't want to talk directly about his daughter. He don't want to insult the daughter. This is not the aim of the Buddha, to insult personality. He don't want to talk about that this person no good, not beautiful, not the idea is to show nature as nature. And when you overcome greed, anger, delusion, then you can see nature as nature. Please. So what the Buddha, which kind of story the Buddha told?
The following is a summary of the story. The Buddha refuses the daughters of Mara.
Okay, just if you read in the sutta, this is long story. So even the commentary, even Buddhavagga, you have to make it shortcut, just the idea what is important for our story. So only these kind of things, he make it like a concept like this, like a shortcut about the important things, what is important for us. Yeah.
The great being, having renounced the glory of the kingdom, riding the horse Kantaka, and with Jana as a companion, went forth on the great renunciation.
Okay, the Buddha started to tell them, in the past, I left my home, I was 29 years old. Okay? Then I go out with my horse, and it was my assistant, okay? And I left my home from kingdom, and I went out from the kingdom, from the palace, let's say, okay? Yeah.
As he approached the gate of the city, Mara, who stood nearby, said to him, "Siddhartha, return upon your way. 7 days from now, the wheel of a universal monarch will be shown to you." The great being...
Before we continue, I want to explain these kind of things. You see what happened? The Buddha is leaving home. He go out from the city, go by gate. It was a different gate to Kapadamistu. Okay, if we visit Kapadamistu, when you go to visit Kapadamistu, you see there is a gates to the place. When the Buddha left home to be monk, outside the gate, Mara is waiting for him. Okay, and what actually Mara is telling, Mara is the angels. I told you, it's not like delusion, greed, or whatever. It's really angels. He's standing in there. He make himself as a human being. Okay, and he coming and call him Siddhartha because he's not Buddha yet. He's just Siddhartha. He's just a prince. And what Mara tell the Buddha, if you will stay just you have to remember that just one day before, Buddha have his first son, Rahula. He have the first baby born. Okay, he have only one, but Mara tell him, if you will stay now another 1 week from now, you will be the king. But you don't only be the king, you will be king, what we call turn the wheels. What is mean monarch or king, which is ruling all over the world without fighting? Because the king turning the wheels, it's very, very special. It's coming long time. Every long time there is such king like this, that he ruled the country with justice. With keeping the precept, he asked the people from the country to keep the precept. And he have one economy man that he know to find ships under the water that have a lot of treasure. He have one wife that she's very close to him. He have the he see the wheels in the front of him after he shave his head and keeping the precept, taking like 8 precepts first, and then this wheel coming to him. So he ruling all the world with justice. If suppose he have an elephant, so he crossed with his army to another country, and the other country, they say, wow, you are so great king. Please take care for us also. So he said, if you will keep the 5 precepts, you will be also my people. So like this, he go from one country to another country till he rule all around the world. So the Mara tell the Buddha or Siddhartha that if you will stay another 1 week, you will be such king like this. That actually all your words will be belong to you. And this called king turning the wheels, because when he keep 8 precepts, he wash himself and he purified himself in the beginning of his ruling, then some kind of wheel coming up to the air. And this how he know that he is turning the wheels. It means there is like a wheels that starting to go around the air, so we can see it. Okay? So what Buddha actually answered to the Mara? What Siddhartha answered the Mara when Mara told him this, that he is going to be a king? Yeah.
The great being replied, I too know that, Mara, but I do not desire it. Then, for what purpose are you going forth on the great renunciation? That I may gain enlightenment.
You see what the Buddha said to him? Actually, I also know, because he's now Bodhisattva. He knows by himself that in the moment, if he will stay in the palace, he will be king another 1 week. And he will be king turning the wheels, because he's very special. He's a Bodhisattva. Okay? So what he said to the Buddha, to Mara, I don't have the interest of the wills of the ordinary people. I want to find the wills of enlightened, the Eightfold Path. Okay, so when he became from king turning the wheels, he became Buddha, actually turning wheels, which is the wheels of the Eightfold Path, the wheels of the Dhamma. That's why when he met the 5 students, then he turned the wheels of the Dhamma. Because he was Buddha, he found the real wheels, not the ordinary one of the king. Yeah, please.
Well then, if from this day forth you think a lustful thought and so on, I shall know what to do in your case.
You see what you say, okay, you don't want to stay here in your palace, so I will try to cut you with your greed to bring you back. Because the Buddha is not a Buddha yet, okay? So it means that Siddhartha Gautama is just 29 years old. He get enlightened after 6 years. So now 6 years is going and practicing samatha, concentration. He's trying to find a way. So Mara say that if during these 6 years any greed will come to your mind, I will know how to cut you and to defeat you, that you will go back home and you don't get enlightened. Because his hobby is to keep the sentient beings in the samsara. Yeah, so then...
From that time on, Mara followed the great being for 6 years. waiting for his opportunity. During those 6 years, the teacher practiced austerities, and when, through his own effort, he had attained enlightenment at the foot of the Bodhi tree, he sat down at the foot of the goatherd's banyan tree, experiencing the bliss of emancipation.
Okay, you see, 6 years he practicing samatha concentration. Okay, and still the Mara all the time trying to look where is weakness, where the hindrances will attack them. But he was practicing so intelligent, so strong, so this he could defeat the greed. So Mara could not catch him. Okay, but what happened when the Buddha he get under the tree of the Bodhi tree? He get enlightened. In the moment that he get enlightened, he cut away all the greed. It means now Mara will not be able to catch him anymore. It will not be possible for Mara to catch him anymore. He just, Buddha don't have greed, so Mara cannot catch him with greed. Okay? So
at that time, Mara sat down by the highway, overwhelmed with sorrow at the thought, all this time I have followed him, seeking my opportunity, but have found no blemish in him. Now he has escaped for my power.
See, Mara is very clever, you know, that now he became Buddha. When he became Buddha, there is no greed on him, there is no hope for me to go on this direction to try to catch him with the greed, because he don't have any greed. He's very clever, okay? I told you, he's actually angels, very, very high, in the most high level of the angels, Mara, okay? But still, hobby. Different people have different hobby. So he want to stop us from going to out of samsara. Okay. So now he's something like depressed. He's sitting and say, "Oh, I cannot do it. I could not make it. I fail." Okay. So he say in the highway. So it can be in the highway nearby Buddhavagga on our earth, or it can be a highway in the angel world. Okay, it's different. I don't know. They didn't mention highway, but it can be a highway that in our nearby Buddhavagga, he could not defeat the Buddha. He's just sitting there, or either in the words of the angels. Also, probably there is highways. So also maybe there can be. Please.
Now his 3 daughters, taṇhā, craving, arati, anger, and raga, greed, said to themselves.
Moment, you see, I told you that Mara have also daughters. They're also angels. They by themselves, they can be very beautiful. They are by themselves. But you have to understand, it's not, they call taṇhā, arati, and raga, greed, craving, and anger. But it's not mean that this is the characteristics of the Buddha, greed, anger, and this. Just the name, okay? Just the name of these angels. Don't get confused. It's not mean if they call this taṇhā, call it taṇhā or craving, it's presenting craving, okay? It just, this is her name. So, but still they have the same hobby like Mara. That's why they are the daughter of Mara. They want to try to help Mara to stop us as the sentient beings from going to nirvana. So what happened with these 3 daughters?
Our father is nowhere to be seen. Where can he be now? Looking all about, they saw him sitting there, whereupon they approached him and asked, "Dear father, why are you so downcast and depressed?" He told them what the matter was. Then they said to him, "Dear father, do not be disturbed.
See, Mara is very clever. He understands. The Buddha is enlightened. The Buddha don't have any more craving. But the 3 daughters, they are not so much developed on knowledge. They don't have, even they are angels, they are very, they are by themselves, officially they are good, because otherwise they will not be angels. But still they have the hobby or habit to stop us as a creature from going out from samsara. But they don't understand what Mara understands. Mara understood that if the Buddha gets enlightened, it's not possible to make him greed. It's not possible to raise up something that he don't have. But the daughter don't understand it. They are tricking. They're thinking, how should we trick the Buddha? What they said to the father? Yeah.
Dear father, do not be disturbed. We will bring him under our control and fetch him here. Dear daughters, it is not possible for anyone to bring this man under control. Dear father, we are women. We will bind him fast with the fetters of lust. Thus we will fetch him here. As for you, do not be disturbed.
See, they are thinking if they are women, and they are actually, because they are angels, they can, by concentration or by their karma, they can even change their form. They can act in different ways. So they say, we will use our quality as a woman with playing with this. But they are also pure. They are much more pure than you. They are more beautiful than women of the human being, because human being, they are flesh, okay, the bones, the skin. But angels, they are more fine. So they have much more beauty than the human being body, okay? And they're also more clean, because they are not sweating, they are not making pee kaki, all these things. They are not doing all these things. These angels, they are more pure, and also beauty, also by cleaning, okay? So because of good karma, actually, this is what brings angels to be like this. So they say, we will use all our power as a woman thinks to defeat this man, okay? But Mara tried to explain them, it will not be possible, because you just don't have agreed. Yeah, please.
And approaching the teacher, they said to him, Ascetic, we would be your humble slaves. The teacher paid no attention to their words, nor did he so much as open his eyes and look at them.
So they start to try different ways. So first step, they say, oh, come, we will be there. Come, present themselves with their own beauty. They say, well, we will be your slave. We are willing to serve you. But the Buddha even didn't open the eyes. He just continued practicing.
The daughters of Mara said again, Many and various are the tastes of men, some like maidens, others like women in the prime of life, others like women who have reached middle life, while still others like women who have passed middle life. We will tempt him in various forms. So one after another they assumed the forms of women of various ages, creating by supernatural power 100 female forms each. And in the
sorry, you see what they are doing? They are thinking, maybe you don't listen to us now, because he has some kind of favorite side. Some people, they look like this color, something like this color, this age. Everybody, every man, he likes something else. You have different kind of taste. So they say, we will present ourselves in many, many ways. So one kind of figure for sure he will like. It's not possible that he will not like some kind of figure. Maybe you don't like black woman, maybe you like a white woman, maybe you like black and not white. So they say, okay, we will do different ways, act different ways. And they try, okay?
And in the form of maidens, women who had not yet given birth to a child, women who had given birth to one child, women who had given birth to 2 children, women who had reached middle age, and women who had reached old age, they approached the Fortunate One 6 times and said, Bhikkhu, we would be your humble slaves.
You see, they try so many kind of women to present to the woman and to the Buddha. But the Buddha don't have greed. It's not possible. Whatever. Yeah.
Neither did the Fortunate One pay any attention to this, but remained neutral, as his craving had been completely destroyed.
When there is no craving to the personality, how you can create craving or raise up the craving? This is craving. It's like a sense doors craving. We call it anusaya. It means it's laid down on our mind. And in the moment of trigger, it must come up. But if in the Vipassana, we are cutting the anusaya, and we are cutting the anusaya of the kamaroga, it's called, the greed for the sense doors. hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting. So you cannot trick it because it's not exist anymore. It means the Buddha cut this anusaya. So when you cut this latent tendency or greed that lay down on normal people, okay, so it's not possible to raise it anymore. It just don't exist. Okay. And by the way, this is the Kamaroga. This is the anagami cutting. When when someone cutting the attachment to the six sense doors, he became anagami. Okay. Arahant still have to cut. Anagami still have to cut some other fetters. Another 5 fetters, for example, attachment to the concentration, jhana, conceit, and all these things. But the anagami already cutting the attachment to the sense doors, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, all these things. Okay. So, please.
When after that they did not withdraw, the teacher said to them, "Depart. What do you see that you strive thus? Such actions as these should be performed before those who have not rid themselves of lusts and other defilements."
You see what the Buddha trying to explain to the daughter of Mara. He teach them Dharma actually. He say, why you are trying so much is not possible. You are trying to create or to let raising up greed on the place which is not exist in the person which is not the greed. If you want to do it, you have to go to other people which have greed. Then you will be for sure success. But in this case, it's lost because there is no greed anymore in the mind of, in this case, Arahant. Okay? Yeah.
The realized one, however, has freed himself from lusts. Why do you try to bring me under your control? So saying, he pronounced the following verses.
See why the Buddha used these verses when we was reading in the 178, he said, when you are cutting the greed, there is no possible to raise up the greed. You cannot take him to any direction anymore. It means if you don't have greed, anger, delusion, you cannot force him to be angry, you cannot force him to be greedy, you cannot force him to be deluded. Please.
The Buddha, whose conquest of moral defilements is complete, in whom there cannot arise any further defilements in this world. That Buddha of infinite range of wisdom, who is trackless, by what track will you lead him?
So this is the first sentence that the Buddha said to the daughter of Mara, and then?
The Buddha in whom there is no craving, which like a net would bring him back to any existence in samsara. That Buddha of infinite range of wisdom, who is trackless, by what track will you lead him?
You see the Buddha explaining this to the daughter of Mara, to the angels actually. Okay, the daughter of Mara, they are angels, they are very, very high in the mind actually, but still because they are, they have this kind of habit, they are still just angels, they are by themselves, they are not free from greed, anger, delusion. And the Buddha explained them about this quality that you cannot make the Buddha attach to, for sure, for sex. Okay? Yeah.
At the end of the teaching, many divinities understood the Dhamma, and the daughters of Mara then and there disappeared.
When you, for example, when you say, "Oh, Mara, you are, you discover in your weakness," the more the Buddha, the Mara will not stay and continue to argue; it just turn and go away. Okay, this is the one characteristics of Mara. So when you see what happened here, that when the Buddha was sitting under the tree and making this conversation with the daughter of Mara, many divine understood the Dhamma. They became Sotapan, Sakatakami, Anagami, Arahant. This is already teaching. The Buddha under the tree already teach, and sentient beings already start to get the benefit of the Buddha and the word. Okay, even the Buddha didn't teach the 5 students, not yet. But he start already his duty to teach sentient beings by just speaking some sentence. Yeah.
When the teacher had completed his Dhamma teaching, he said, Māgandiya, when long ago I looked at the three angels, the daughters of Mara, possessed of bodies comparable to masses of gold, free from dirt and other bodily impurities, even then I had no desire for the pleasures of love.
One moment before we continue. You see, now all these stories about the three daughters of Mara, the Buddha actually telling this story to Māgandiya, the husband and wife. Okay, the daughter standing nearby, she's listening to this. Okay, but she, by the way, hearing all this story. Okay, all the story. But what the Buddha say that they are so beautiful, these angels, that if we are as a human being, we look at them, they will look for us better than to put earring, gold. They like it so beautiful, so nice. So the Buddha said that actually for us as a human being, if we look at the angels, they will be much beautiful even than gold for us. Okay? And the Buddha said that even when they come to temptate me, I didn't know greed coming on me. So,
but as for your daughter's body, it is a corpse filled with the 32 aggregates, an impure jar, as it were painted from outside. And were she to lie on my doorway, I would not touch her even with the sole of my foot, where my foot would be covered with its dirt. And when he had thus spoken, he pronounced the following verse.
One moment before we continue, before we just finish this one, you see what the Buddha said actually to Māgandiya. He tell her that, okay, even angels could not make me temptate, cannot raise up greed. Your daughter, she's a human being, and human being have a blood, kaki, pee, everything inside them. Okay, they're sweating, and actually, when one time the angels come to the Buddha was sick, and one angels come to take care for the Buddha. So the Buddha asked him, and this is another story, okay, but just to show you how we are dirty so much. So the Buddha asked him, how can you come to me? My smell is so bad. The Buddha told to the angels, my smell is so bad. It's not disturbing you. So what the angel actually answered to the Buddha, yeah, your smell is very bad, but I'm not referring to your smell. I'm referring to your purity. That's why I can handle it. I can come close to you because of this. It shows you that even the Buddha, as a human being, still he have under this, you say aggregate, like we have hair on the head, hair on the body, we have the toes, we have the fingers, we have nail, we have all these parts, blood, urine, all these things. And the Buddha said, this is like a dead person, that you think that you go tomorrow you want to go out from your house, and the dead person will lay down on the floor. Would you touch with your legs with the dead person? Do you like to touch with your body, with your legs with the dead person? Anyone want to do it? Nobody, huh? So this is exactly what the Buddha said. She lay down, your daughter will lay down on the floor, and the interest of my house, I will not dare to touch her with my finger. She's so dirty. Okay, but actually the Buddha don't want to insult the daughter. He just talk about that he cut the greed. So if we talk about human being, is very, very dirty, that we just by greed attach. We create beauty. We see sukha from something which is very dukkha. Okay, very ugly, but our mind creating, we like it because of the attachment. Okay, because the Buddha cut the attachment, so he see things as they are. So he don't attach to this reality, which is very, very dirty. Yeah, and then what the Buddha said to the father, how he concluded to the father and mother.
Having seen taṇhā, craving, arati, anger, and raga, greed, I had no desire for sexual intercourse. What is this so full of urine and stool? I do not want to touch it even with my foot.
You see, so in this case, what the Buddha touching, he telling the father and mother the disadvantage of the body. Okay, it means the sense doors. Normally, we have attachment to the sense doors, and the Buddha tell them how we attach by our sense doors to something which is reality very dirty. So what happened to the father and mother when they was hearing these things?
On hearing those words of the Buddha, both the Brahmin and his wife attained anagami fruition.
You see why? Because actually they cut in this moment the greed to attachment to the sense doors. And I told you that the anagami, he don't have any more greed to. That's why it's make them happen that they could cross through the anagami stage, because the Buddha give them the understanding about attachment to the sense doors. And this is one thing that the anagami cutting. Okay. Later on, the father and mother, because they became anagami, they joined to the Buddha and they became enlightened. What happened to the daughter? The daughter standing there and hearing the Buddha talking like a kaki and pipi. So she don't happy. Why the Buddha speaking like this to me? He insult me. He's talking about me. I'm so beautiful woman. And the Buddha talking like this to me. She get anger. She's starting to get anger. And from now on, she make a wish to take revenge on the Buddha. But this will appear in another sutta. So maybe you read just in the red color.
The continuing of this story in detail appears in the Dhammapada and Commentary Chapter 2, the chapter about heedfulness, Buddhavagga, the story about King Udena, Dhammapada 21-23.
Okay, this is actually this is story now that in 21 to 23. This is the story from Dhammapada, and this is actually the longest story from all the Dhammapada. So there is no meaning to start to talk about this now. We will use it. We will tell what happened to Māgandiya, what she tried to do with the Buddha, how she tried to take revenge to the Buddha. She actually became queen. Okay, I just tell you whatever. She became queen, and during the time that she became queen, she tried to take revenge to the Buddha in about 4 times. So this we will continue in the next time. Any questions about these stories? So Martin, you want to touch the kaki and pipi?
Not today.
Today.
Wow.
Oh. But we have to understand the Buddha don't talk about Māgandiya as a kaki and pipi. Talk about human being body. We attach to something which is dukkha, which is dirty, and our mind create it as a sukha, make it as something enjoyment. And this is actually what the Buddha wants to say. You don't want to insult people and to tell bad things about the girl. Okay, this is not his aim. It's not necessary to be the woman like this. It can be also actually the man also like this. Don't you about the Buddha asking the angels, you don't. My smell, how can you dare it? How can you bear it? How can you bear this kind of smell? The angels say, I don't think about your smell. If it's depend on your smell, I don't come to you. It's depend on your purity. That's why I came to you. So the Buddha don't talk about the woman as a dirty things. Okay, this is not the aim of the Buddha to talk like this. There is no discrimination between men and women. But he just want to say that the human being body is very, very impure. And still, because of attachment, we create something very beautiful and nice, and we like it. Okay, these perceptions, wrong perceptions than us. That's why we continue in the samsara. Bitte schön, please. Any questions? Everything clear? Please.
You said when he was Siddhartha, he didn't want to become the... I was just wondering, you said if he became a king, they would have had to accept the precepts, but there was no Buddhism there, but there was precepts. Yeah.
Because he's a bodhisattva. This is what makes him bodhisattva.
Okay.
That's what makes him bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, he by himself, he knows the precept.
Okay.
You know, you don't talk about precept of monk. You talk about precept of the 5 precepts. This is exists also many times when the king turning the wheels exists, not necessarily that Buddhas exist. But still he understands that should not kill, should not steal, should not, and he teach the people in the country. So it's about behavior, virtue. It's not about Buddhism.
He knows from other lives or from other Buddhas.
Yeah, exactly. He was born in these times. He carried this precept long time. That's why we say sila. He was very pure in the sila. It's one of the perfections that he had. Understand?
Yeah.
As a bodhisattva, he have 10 paramita, and one paramita is a sila. It's a precept. And then, by the way, when he will be before he will be the king turning a wheel, he will keep 8 precepts. The king, how he became king turning the wheels, he go and clothe himself at home, and he shaving the head, he washing himself, and he keep for 1 week there 8 precepts. And when he keep this 8 precepts, then the wheels come up and show him. Became his like assistant for him. Understand? And because he's a bodhisattva, that's why.
So he learned this from other lives before.
Yeah, of course. He collected so many reincarnations. He meet almost all the Buddhas before, almost 24 Buddhas before he meet them. Bitteschön. Good. So if no questions, I say to you that I wish for all of you, by all the good merit, the merit that you collect from till now, whatever, all these things will be conditioned for you for Magga, Phala, Nirvana. You cut all the greed and delusion from your mind, and you find the real happiness. Dankeschön. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.